Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video.
Robin is a lesbian.
Robin is a character designed for a gacha game, made to be as broadly appealing as possible, to convince people to gamble. That's how they make money. She is not real. Robin does not exist. Her sexuality is a figment of your imagination. Can't wait for R34 of Robin attempting to buff allies with her singing, but she can't because she's too busy. I am so excited to pull for this very straight woman. By the way, talk to Dawe, he himself told me that she was straight. Very cool. Anyways, welcome to why every single character in Honkai Star Rail is queer-coded. Hi! Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it. My name is E, as in like, everyone. Thank you so much for 50,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for 5 subscribers. It's like super cool we hit this milestone together, and to celebrate, here is another installment in our queer-coded series. Hey! I have already made a few when it comes to potential queer interpretations of our favorite Genshin Impact characters, so if you want to watch that, the playlist is right here if you are interested, but you have to watch it after this video, okay? Hold your horses. And so, due to very high and popular demand, here is the first installment of why HSR or Honkai Star Rail is a queer-coded game. Woo! If you want to see more Slay content, then please make sure to like and subscribe, or I'll shave your head. And join us over on twitch.tv/ESocial so we can hang out some more. Okay, let's get started. So, queer coding. Let's talk about it, because that's why you clicked on the video. If you are a regular of this series, you may be familiar with how queer coding is the act of using subtle signifiers to convey to an audience that a character is indeed queer. This can be accomplished through several means, by use of color schemes, cultural references, or literally any means of literary devices to get this point across. Like, it could be anything. Queer coding most often occurs and happens in cultures or time periods where, you know, being queer is or was taboo, and so it was censored, which is definitely the case of where Hoyoverse finds themselves in, being a company from China and often having to conform to censorship laws. Recapping this in speed time, Hoyoverse also has a history of canonizing actual queer relationship, with, again, this kiss being taken out of the Chinese version of the manga between Branya and Scylla. Branya and Scylla in that scene also promise to kiss again when they meet again, with this still being the still we land on when they finally fully reunite. There's also like a tarot card of them being positioned as the lovers and a web event. There's so much. There's so much. But to continue, there was the famous Yai Sakura kiss, where in the manga, Scarlet Sakura, Yai Sakura feeds medicine to a sick girl through a kiss. This famous kiss is referenced several more times across Hoyoverse's work, with their most recent reference being in Genshin Impact's Pretty Please Kitsune Guji. For more on A and Yai Miko's queer coding, you should go watch the second queer coding video. Again, icon and link in the description. There are so many more examples, like I said, and I would be here all day, but the biggest shout out ever to Hoyo Stans, which is a group of friends who put together a huge document of all of the gay shit that has happened in the past. They plan to make this document open for the public soon, so check out their website if you're interested. Link is in the description below, and support an awesome group of people doing God's work for real, putting together all these resources. Shout out to you guys are awesome. I mentioned these moments to say that interpretations that I may partake in this video are inherently valid interpretations, considering Hoyoverse's past of gay shit, okay? Now, usually this is the part of the video where I give like a history of queer coding, why it's used in the past or present, and how important representation is, but for now, I will just say representation is important, and queer coding in fiction has and always will be an important way to showcase the range of the human experience, even and especially under the oppression of censorship. Why do I say that specifically? And if you require historical references and receipts, well, again, hey, watch the other videos. How you doing? Hey. But for now, I state all of this in the beginning to say, yeah, these characters aren't real. Sure, we all know that, but this is fun and actually not a big deal, and holds something of merit to people who find happiness in this kind of subject and in representation. So if this kind of topic does not spark joy for you, then, you know, it's okay. Shoo, you can go away. Like, this is not made for you. But for everyone else who this video is for, then yes, let's go! Gay shit! Queer people, yes! Bronze Sela. I mean, like, come on. The whole video is just gonna be going like, come on, have you seen them? Come on, like, come on. There's like no evidence at all. I mean, have you seen those two actually though? Okay, I may not be well versed in the world of Honkai Impact the Third or Gun Girl Z, but I know gay shit when I see one, okay? Sela kissing Bronya? Kissing, by the way, while promising that they will reunite. In that, they will see each other again, doing anything it took to be able to be with each other, including killing and dying, kind of. Comparing the other's eyes to the ocean, showing up in each Honkai iteration and having a close or straight up romantic relationship in every universe. It's kind of like that Doctor Strange. I love you in every universe, but it's just, I'm gay in every universe. But hey, you know, the other Honkai series aren't Honkai Star Rail. That's a different game. So what do we have here? Oh, right. Sela having her whole world view of the Silvermane guards turned upside down after meeting Bronya. Getting so close to Bronya that whenever she isn't around, Sela acts frantic about where she is and if she's okay. And then, you know, this scene.
I'm not like you. I don't have that many grand plans for the future. But if that's the future you want, I'm willing to build this bridge with you.
Thank you, Sela. Your trust is very important to me.
Speaking of which,
Huh?
Speaking of which...
What?
Speaking of which...
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Fellas, do you blush when your newest ex-enemy turned ally who suddenly becomes so important to you after getting to know them that you panic when they are in trouble, who you share an intimate moment with while standing in front of the orphanage you both once lived at, thus confirming a closer connection than you two initially conceived, overlooking the scenery of the home you both are trying to save, wherein you state that you will help build the bridge for them and connecting your two lands together because it is the future that they want. And then they return the sentiment by stating your trust is very special to them, which hits you so hard you start to blush, panic a little, turn your head so they don't see, and then quickly change the subject, praying that they don't notice how flustered you got. Fellas. But wait, there's more, okay? While in Penacony, there is a dream peak call sequence where you can eavesdrop in on a dream Bronya is having. In the dream, it starts out with Bronya sounding a little sus, with one of the Trailblazer reaction options being holding your breath, as if implying that the Trailblazer thought something was afoot. It's soon revealed that Bronya was really just dreaming about Sela and her boxing up precious materials her mother gave her. The reality of the dream went from sus to very domestic and sweet, like super fast. Also, hey Bronya, why are you dreaming of Sela like that? Sure, bestie, just bestie things, just bestie things. There's also the ever iconic museum management event where Bronya has to interview Sela to see if she should hire her for the event, while we kind of just like awkwardly stand to the side. They start off by just like staring at each other and we think that they're like communicating telepathically, but they're just being super awkward. Bronya says how this could be a great chance to know Sela better, and Sela grumbles saying, don't we know each other enough already? The rest of the convo is just pretty awkward, and this scene paired with the ending of the Belobog quest pairs the two into quite the domestic, bickering, married couple type of vibe. This is again reflected in the Dream Peak call in Penacony. They're just kind of cute. They're just like so cute, you know? And they're canon and they show up in each other's trailers. Like they show up in every universe, where in one universe they share a kiss and a very deep relationship while promising that they will always find each other again. Then, you know, this happens. Like, I feel like I don't need to continue. They are being hinted at that there is something homosexual happening. Like, come on, what are we talking about? I feel like there should be more to say about them, but like, the coding isn't coding anymore if they were literally canonized in their other multiverse selves. I feel like I'd be kicking a dead horse if I tried to continue to convince you that they got something weird going on. Right? Case closed, right? You guys are exhausting. Now, with Bronze Sela checked off the list, let's talk about that emo guy and the other not as, slightly less emo guy. I wish I could talk about Yuri and Yaoi forever. Wait, that's a great idea for a theme for our website. Good thing this video is sponsored by Squarespace. You guys know Squarespace is the best place to go to build a website, and look, this is the next part of my own website journey that I wanted to share with you guys. And for today, I wanted to work on the support page. It is so easy to add in pictures and logos into one of their already existing layouts, and by doing so, I'm making it uniquely my own. I was able to add in links to tell y'all where to go when you guys eventually can visit my page. And here I wanted to link to our coffee page where you can support the channel more. And I added a link to the little icon here. So when you click on the icon, it goes there. It's kind of cool. And when I eventually launch the website, which I'm very excited for, I'll be able to monitor just how many clicks it gets and how things are looking in their built-in analytics tab. I mean, that sounds so cool, right? Okay, if you think so, then you should visit squarespace.com for a free trial. And then when you realize just how much you love it, you should go to squarespace.com/e-is-social to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. You guys are helping out the channel by doing so, as well as getting a sick looking website. Thank you again so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. And now back to the lovely world of gay people. Okay. So these two. Dan Heng and Blade have quite the past, which is an understatement, girl. Literally the drama soap opera showdown of the century. When I was going through the Luofu quest in Honkai Star Rail, I'll be real, I didn't catch any of the following stuff I will be presenting to you, girl. I was confused and lost. All I knew, genuine hot, Kafka hot, and big lady we fight at end hot. Like, that's all I needed to know. So I thought it was like a skill issue on my end, but apparently a lot of others had issues with the Luofu's writing and plot as a whole, so I feel seen. That being said, don't feel bad if you didn't catch or understand anything that went down with our man Dan Heng and why that one emo guy always has his panties in a twist, okay? Don't worry, it happens. It happens to the best of us. So let me try to break this down to you best as I can, okay? Shout out to the shipping wiki, as well as just the Honkai Star Rail wiki, many tweets and Reddit threads that helped me piece together all of this. So of course, as always, links below to those resources. So, Dan Heng and Blade had another life together in another time. In this other time, they were known by different names, Dan Feng and Yingqing, respectively. I know it's Dan Feng, and I know it's Dan Heng. Listen to my words and don't get confused. How they went from this past together to who they are today will be explained later, okay? Don't worry about it. Roughly 700 years ago, Dan Feng and Yingqing were extremely close, with Dan Feng being a Vidyahara, which is a lifelong species who undergoes a molting process to like be born again with no memories when they die. It's kind of like reincarnation. And he was also one of the 5 high elders who was responsible for watching over his people. Yingqing was an expert swords craftsman and a short-lived species. That's all he was, okay? Nothing else too extreme. Together, they were also part of the group called the High Cloud Quintet, which consisted of other familiar faces such as Jinglu, Jingyuan, and Baihang. These 5 were like the A-team, the it girls. They ate, slayed, and gobbled your faves for breakfast. Okay, sorry, that was kind of cringy. Though all 5 shared a close bond, the bond between Dan Feng and Yingqing was especially close. While telling Dan Heng of his past life in Jinglu's story quest, Jinglu states how the two of them, Dan Feng and Yingqing, were the closest with each other in the group. We get a glimpse into how close this really means in the relic set Passerby of Wandering Cloud, which tells the story of the Unnamed, a man tortured with the curse of immortality without a name and without a past. We can surmise through textual clues and common sense that this Unnamed is Blade, formerly Yingqing, who is dealing with the aftermath of all that drama. In the Bracer's description, we can read about some of Blade's memories that he is slowly remembering a little bit from his past with Dan Feng. Apparently, the Bracer Blade has is one in a pair that shares a telepathic connection with the other. It states, quote, though the Unnamed only had one bracer in his possession, his fingertips could still faintly feel the temperature from the other. This bracer is one we see both Yingqing and Dan Feng wear in several different arts with them in it. The bracer's description also states that only Vidyahara artisans are capable of creating this type of armor. So we can reasonably infer that Dan Feng made these bracers as a gift for the two to be able to telepathically feel the other, no matter the distance. The fact that you're able to feel the warmth or temperature of the one who shares this bracer with you is just kind of gay. I wouldn't want to be feeling my homie's warmth, okay, at all times to make sure he's like okay. Keep that shit to yourself, man. In that relic set, Blade tries to feel who it was exactly that owned the other pair. Again, his memories are pretty much gone, and he sees flashes of the past he shared with the other bracer's owner, Don Fung. It says that Blade and this man used to spar with each other, and, quote, that owner also once shared company and drinks with the unnamed. The two of them simply gazing at the moon with no words exchanged. So, with the English text, we understand that in this moment, Blade is remembering his past with Don Fung, whom he shared a telepathic bracer with and used to spar with and gaze at the moon with. Nothing inherently romantic about any of those things, by the way. Like, nothing at all. But the plot thickens. According to Twitter user Renyin Yue, there is a supposed typo in the original Chinese text explaining their memories together, and how, in the Chinese text, instead of it just saying that the two watched the moon together, it actually states that they engaged in a engagement ceremony. Renyin Yue states that the word shown here means engagement ceremony, which appears in the in-game text in this relic set lore. This word talks of the act of changing cups, which signifies an engagement or a romantic setting. The website Baidu, that explains meanings behind Chinese words, seems to confirm this as well. It is kind of almost hard to believe that this phrase actually exists in a canonical way in the game itself, okay? This implication of an engagement ceremony only exists in the Chinese text and was not translated into any of the others. Renyin Yue claims that it must be a typo because, like, oh my god, there's no way they would just say that, right? Straight up. Renyin Yue says a more appropriate phrase for the two of them would be this one here, which means like exchanging cups and drinking with your closest friend, but like in a bro way, right? More platonic. Renyin Yue states that it would have been a little difficult to actually make this typo by accident if the writer originally meant for it to be the platonic idiom and not the romantic one. Though additionally, according to a Quora user, I know girl, referencing Quora, I know, but it's from another native speaker, so their words can shed further insight. The contemporary usage of the romantic implication is this right here, which is often a metaphor for interactions that are flirty or romantic in nature, so not exactly denoting an engagement ceremony. This Quora user also states that with many of these expressions and idioms, the interpretation can vary greatly depending on the context and other cultural nuances. So it can mean romantic in some ways or platonic in others. As of today, as I understand, the original text where this sort of romantic implying phrase exists in has not been changed or altered by Hoyoverse, meaning if it was a typo, they haven't changed the phrase to imply more platonic emotions as opposed to the already existing romantic toned vibes. But this can be interpreted differently, which is why I think that's why it's still there. So to leave it up to us as the viewer to decide how we read and interpret this scene. More things to consider. While in their heyday, Don Fung and Yinqing wore a matching set of earrings, where Don Fung wore one on one ear and Yinqing wore the other on his other ear. They also share identical jade clasps, wherein this internet user made a diagram showing how the two could be two pieces of one pair and how they look like they slide into each other, forming one whole pendant. Blade and Dan Hong still wear these clasps to this day. The shipping wiki claims that in-game texts say that teal jade clasps signify a way for lovers to find each other in their next life, though I could not find anything to support this, but I told this to my trusty friend Stone. Everybody say, let's go Stone! Because they took this as a challenge to find what these in-game texts were to support this claim. What they found was an adventure quest that included an NPC named Kong who wanted to give a unity lock to the woman he loves. When he underwent rebirth and molting, he was born with the unity lock in his hand, and he said it was a way to find your past lovers in the last life. The woman that he loves, Jingzai, apparently has a matching unity lock, for she was in love with the man Kong used to be in his last life, Guyu. She refuses, stating that Gong could never be Guyu, which ow, and ends up rejecting him. So putting the unity lock and our jade clasps next to each other, they're not resoundingly super similar. But if you look closely on the Unity lock, you can notice a very similar pattern that Blade has on his end of the Jade clasp. The two look like Jade and look like clasps, okay? This could be the evidence of what matching Jade clasps could signify in the world of Honkai Star Rail. Regardless, they were super close until they weren't. So like, what happened, right? We're still kind of confused by that part. Honestly, I don't think any of us at this time of writing this are exactly sure of what happened or what went down, but we do know some basic facts. What we do know is Bai Hung, one of the members in the High Cloud Quintet, died brutally. Okay, girl? Don Fung and Yinqing did some sort of experiment, which resulted in a lot of casualties, and with Yinqing having immortality forced upon him with Mara, which is bad, okay? And Don Fung ended up being punished for his crimes of messing with immortality. That was a big no-no, and he totally did it. His punishment was exile, and he was forced to undergo a molting of sort, where Don Fung basically reincarnates. That's basically what happens. Don't argue with me, okay? When molting usually happens for Videohara, they lose their memories, but since Don Fung was forced to molt, it was a little janky, and that's why Don Hung today still has a few memories from his past life as Don Fung. What the experiment was for, how it happened, why it happened, the motives behind it, still unclear. Fandom's confused. For this instance here, not super important. Yinqing got immortality, de-aged, and he got black hair and lost like all of his memories, okay? There are various in-game Videohara elegies from the Cloud Cry songbook that insinuate and tell the tale between Don Fung and Yinqing, one of which sounds like it is being spoken by an imprisoned Don Fung mourning the loss of Yinqing. The themes of past lives and rebirth is something that is shared between this aria and the story of these two men. The war against the Borisin is also a common thread in Yinqing's story, for it was the Borisin that destroyed his homeworld. The bird Oriole signifies that there are brighter days ahead and that a true test of one's bond will occur soon, according to this website I found, so take that with a grain of salt. Don't even know how to pronounce that bird's name. Of course, the mourning of a husband is like crazy on the nose, but it does strongly suggest that this is an aria from the perspective of Don Fung. So again, take that as you will. So I don't know, okay? It does seem heavily implied that these two in the past had something going on with them. Either a super close friendship or something romantic. There are a lot of coincidences if the writers never meant to imply there was something romantic in the past with them, so I honestly would find it kind of weird if that was never the intention, because it's kind of like loud. Many people in the fandom make the claim that this was only a possibility between Don Fung and Yinqing and not Blade and Don Hung, given how they are basically like different people after like everything that happened. I think that makes the ship even angstier personally, but you know, what do I know? But what do you guys think? How do you interpret their relationship, past or present? Do you think Hoyoverse intended to insinuate such a romantic connection between these two? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and also tell me anything that I missed regarding these two guys.
I'm sorry, little one.
I'm sorry, Swan Nation, ACR Swan Nation, whatever you guys are called. These two lovely ladies will unfortunately not be included in this video. It's really sad, honestly, because I already made a whole freaking video of whatever the f is going on with those two, okay? Check it out. There is some weird going on, okay? So ACR Swan Nation, you guys rejoice, okay? They're not in this video because they have a whole nother video. Go watch it again in the eye icon right here after this video. Watch it after, because their coding isn't coding, it's yelling, okay? They're queer yelling. They're my favorite. They're my favorite. I go a little crazy over them. Honestly, it's a blessing they're not in this video, because I don't need to have another aneurysm over those two, okay? In the video, I mainly go into the whole short that they were in and why it is very valid to view it as very homoerotic, and then I complain about some homophobes. So hey, sounds like fun. Definitely go check it out, okay? Ah yes, our favorite lady character from Honkai Star Rail, Robin, who everyone treats with a lot of respect and dignity on the internet. Yep. But before I dive into all of that, I wanted to say, hey, did you know that some people were able to watch this video a few days early before you all got to see it? I know, so unfair, right? Well, to rectify this, all you gotta do is go to the coffee page and become a member to see videos early. Easy. Plus, you get a shout out at the end of every video. It's like a Patreon. It is like a Patreon. You'll be supporting me and the channel, plus getting some cool shit. Link is below. And subscribe while you are down there. My mom says that I don't say it enough, so subscribe. Okay, time for Robin. So it was actually like purely coincidental that the whole drama on Twitter, if you are aware of it, involving some of the Genshin content creators and their opinions and takes on Robin's sexuality was all happening while I was researching this script. Like, I think it's so funny that it happened at the same time. I'm not going to be going into the whole thing because I don't care. And if you don't know about it, then God bless your soul, man. You are better off not knowing. But it was pretty funny seeing the whole internet just lose their shit over whether or not it was stupid or cringe to be doing what I'm doing for this whole video. I already explained why I make this series in the beginning of this video and in every video I've made on this topic. So I don't really feel the need to again state why it isn't stupid to look for queer coding in characters. It is stupid, in my opinion, to force these findings onto people. Like if someone said they were attracted to a character and then someone else said, nah, that character is queer. It's not that serious, first of all, okay? Just let people enjoy characters, especially if that character's sexuality has not been confirmed. Again, not that serious. That being said, hey, you know what? Don't be a dickhead. And if you are really mad that people found evidence that points to a character being queer, maybe it's time to do some self-reflection. Regardless, Robin, my dear, was at the center of this whole debacle, with some people on the internet saying that she was queer-coded and others telling those people to shut the f up. So, is she? Let's look at the evidence that I have gathered, okay? This will be a work in progress for her in specific because as of writing this, she has not been officially released yet, and we haven't seen a whole ton of her so far. So this analysis will be short, but I had to talk about it because of everything going on and because there is actually something to talk about. So the two things that really stand out to me with some things that could mean queer coding is the use of color symbolism and the literary references in her lore. For one, people were really quick to point out the lesbian flag color scheme in her eye dot makeup thing. This honestly could totally just be a coincidence and be nothing more than just a cute makeup thing. It is just an odd coincidence, I will point out, because of, well, two things. The color for her makeup doesn't really go with her overall design at all. She wears this purple and white dress with light blue hair. Her under eye makeup is orange, white, and pink, and it seems super out of place and out of nowhere. There's no pink or orange in any part of her outfit. Hoyo is known to make some designs that some people find ugly, but every character design they make is always made with intention. I mean, they have to pay close attention to the details because, you know, some people will literally end up paying thousands of dollars for these characters in the future. It is weird that they included such a random color combination that has nothing to do with her overall design to be a pretty noticeable makeup choice. It's even weirder when the pink and the orange colors are very similar to the specific pink and orange colors used in the lesbian flag. It's even weirder when they are lined up in the exact same order as the lesbian flag, with the white separating the pink and the orange. Again, of course, this is not definitive. Nothing is until Hoyo states it, but come on. The second thing, which is wild, are the references in her story to Emily Dickinson, famed American poet from the 1800s, who was wildly speculated and accepted to be queer. Robin's hit song as an interstellarly famous singer is called If I Can Stop One Heart From Breaking, which is the name of one of Emily Dickinson's most famous poems. The poem thus goes, "If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin onto his nest again, I shall not live in vain." I love Emily Dickinson so much. Fun fact is that we share the same birthday, Emily and I. Yeah. We're just tight like that, you know? My favorite of hers, which is kind of predictable, is "Success is counted sweetest by those who ne'er succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need." Anyways, Robin's song title is most definitely a reference to Miss Dickinson's poem, and well, Dickinson mentions a robin in the poem, so you know what? That's where they got her name. 2 plus 2 equals 4, common sense, okay? Also, in the most recent livestream event, as of writing this, another one of Robin's songs was announced, which is literally called Hope is the Thing with Feathers, which is another one of Miss Dickinson's most famous poems. And it's so Robin coded. 2 references to my girl. 2! It is heavily speculated by scholars that Emily was queer. Some say bi, some say lesbian, man, who cares? You know, like, we don't know Emily like that. But it is safe to say that she was one of them queers. So I'm gonna say queer. People say this because, well, she never married, but she did send over 270 letters to her close friend and sister-in-law, Susan Gilbert. These 270 letters would contain some poems that Emily wrote, and one letter once said, quote, Susie, forgive me, darling. For every word I say, my heart is full of you. None other than you is in my thoughts. Yet when I seek to say to you something not for the world, words fail me. And then she finishes it off with a, and I am on my way to the green lane to meet you. And my heart goes scampering so that I have much ado to bring it back again and learn it to be patient till that dear Susie comes. Not to put my girl on blast or anything, but that was gay as fuck. I do not tell my homegirls that my heart is scampering so until we meet again, okay? My girl Emily was kind of freaky for that. There is also photo evidence of Emily posing next to this chick named Kate Scott Turner, who eventually left to go live in Europe as an openly queer gay woman. My girl Emily had hoes. That's right. I love her so much for that. That's my girl. There's definitely more. Let me know if you want a whole video on Emily Dickinson. I love her. I'm joking. Kind of. So again, to reiterate, Robin has weird colored makeup that's literally the lesbian colors in the lesbian flag order that doesn't match with any of her apparel. Plus, she has 2 huge references to the biggest queer, my girl Emily Dickinson. Oh yeah, right. But we are insane and batshit and deranged for thinking that this is all kind of weird. Right. Of course. But anyways, after that, what do you think? All right. Are we reaching? How do you interpret Robin as a character? I definitely want to hear it down in the comments.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Twitter user Maple Prairies pointed out there are some readables in the game where a lady is writing down her romantic encounters and runs into a woman and states that she has fallen in love, saying, quote, her eyes, like precious jewels, ignited my desire and illuminated my life. That's so relatable. That's literally me with the woman I matched with on Hinge, who then left me on Red and ghosted me. Like, that is so real. The woman rejected her, but she seems to still have hope. Again, just like me for real. So you know what? Again, girl, this is undeniable proof that we got woman lovers up in this joint. Rat Urine Nation, which is the name for ratio in Aventurine. I know it's technically pronounced Raturine, but I'm not saying that. Rat Urine is funnier. I know Rat Urination is waiting with bated breath to see if they will be included in this video, but can I just say, like, I'll get back to you, okay? I think we need to wait for more, because the story, as of me writing this in Penacony, has not finished. Let's wait for more. Because right now, all we have is a super homoerotic light cone and the super homoerotic animation of that light cone to go for, which is like nothing. I don't know what they were thinking when they reposted that edit or when they animated that animation like that. Like, when I watched it, I was instantly homophobic. Like, I haven't really been able to find anything else in addition, but like, Aventurine is gay, man. I mean, I'm sorry, not to be like stereotypical right now, but that's a homosexual man. Do I need to do a whole dissertation on this guy? Look at him. Rat Urination, you will have to stay tuned to next time to hear my findings about them should we find more. I'm sorry, I do not mean to leave you on a cliffhanger, but hey, you should hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to know when I post part 2. Also, we got Yukong and her wife and kid? Question mark? Look into it more, okay? That will be touched on in the next one. Yuri lovers, don't worry, I have you. I got you. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to my they, them, aeons. Yes! They are all referred to as they because, yeah, my intergalactic divine beings that possess power beyond my comprehension should also have gender beyond our comprehension or beyond mortal identifiers. Like, that just makes sense. Shout out to Pom Pom, who also uses they, them because, yeah, what fucking gender is that? I love them a lot. Let's go, queer, gendered, weird hat, train conductor, animal thing. There is certainly more, and there is more subtext to look through, but I'm just a guy, and this video is already long, so you'll have to stay tuned for more. So, what did I miss? Drop it in the comments and I'll look into them. But also, hey, wait, before you go, I just wanted to reiterate this to make this crystal clear. This series was never meant to give people ammunition when it comes to arguing with others about their faves and who's more queer-coded or who's more canon someone is and the like, whatever. None of this is canonized. I personally find ship wars really silly, and if someone says they are attracted to a character you interpret as being queer-coded, then, you know, leave them alone. But again, bro, if you get so mad at even the suggestion of a character being queer-coding and dismissing valid interpretations to instead bully, then again, self-reflect, align your chakras, talk to a therapist, ask yourself why. Nothing's gonna change, okay? Dawei is not calling me up like, oh shit, you right? You want to run the company? He'd be a smart man to do so, but I digress. I promise, hold my hands. Hold my hands with me, okay? Wait, how do I do this? I promise, it's not gonna end the world. Oh, I promise you're not gonna drop dead. Oh, I promise it's not that serious. Relax. Okay, we can let go of my hands now. Wash your hands, they're sweaty. I do this series to show people there is a chance at there being some sort of representation in this game that we all love, which makes some people happy and also isn't important to others. But if you see yourself with these characters, I want to say, hey, bro, your interpretation is valid. I do this to celebrate the possibility of queer love in these games. And hey, you know what? If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the shit out of this video. If you did, please remember to hit the subscribe button for more of this yummy content, and the like button so you can tell me if you do indeed want a part 2 to this series. Again, consider becoming a member on the Ko-fi. The link is right here as well in the description down below to get early access to videos just like these. Plus, you get a shout out at the end of each video. So, to hold up my promise, shout out to Alien Eyes and Jonah for being our first members. You guys rock. Let's go. Watch me other queer videos, because you should. And join us over on twitch.tv/eissocial to hang out even more. All right, well, I've been E, and this has been fun. And if I don't see you on Twitch, then I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye.